It's Christmas time here in the Sandbox Makerspace, and I had said I was going to do a full-length 3D printing ornament tutorial if 10 people were interested. Only 5 people were, but that's enough for me. It's a really quick and easy tutorial to do, so there's not really a reason for me not to post it. So I'm going to post it. Here we go. First, you want to go to tinkercad.com, and you want to press either sign in or join now. If you want to make your own account so that you can work independently more often, do join now. But we do have logins that we can give you if you don't want to create an account yourself. And the advantage to using our login is that when you're done, you just direct message us, tell us you're done. You don't have to export anything or attach a file to an email. You can just contact us and we'll be able to get right into the account. I'm not going to put the login in this video for obvious reasons. Alright, so once you're in, if you haven't used TinkerCAD before, press learn up here and it'll show you how to do all the different functions within TinkerCAD. There'll be orange outlines sort of telling you where to put things. You'll have to do a little bit of reading, but not too much in the left column here, but it's all pretty self-explanatory, and it just sort of will take you through all of them. But since I am familiar with these functions already, I'm going to skip them today, and I'm going to start a new design from scratch. Create new design. Alright, so to make my ornament, it's very simple. I start on the shapes on the right side here with the cylinder. And you'll see that the measurements are in millimeters. So you can get out a ruler and take a look if you'd like. If you're not sure in your head what a millimeter looks like, get out your ruler, look at the centimeters. Remember that there are 10 millimeters in every centimeter, and that'll help you decide how big you want to make your ornament. Don't make it too big. Our 3D printers do not do large items. So I want to keep my ornament around 5 centimeters, which is 50 by 50 millimeters. And I'm going to keep it a centimeter high, so 10 millimeters high. And see, I have it looking like a nice little disc here. And I'm going to make it a hoop. You'll see these shapes on the right side here that are gray with the stripes, and what that means is that they are holes and not solid shapes. So when I put it in the circle, it's going to make a hole in the circle. See that? And I want it to be, the hoop to be about a centimeter thick all around. So that means is this right? Is this what I want to do? 50. Oh yeah, so this is kind of high. It's going to make it harder to see what the actual size is. I'm going to leave it like that. There's no specific measurement that you want to do. I'm not exactly sure how circles work, like as shapes. But just sort of get it to the point where you see this like thin circle around the whole circle. And then you want to center it. So hold your shift key, click on both of them, click on this button up here. It says align. And you want to press the center circles for each of them, and that'll just make sure it's all lined up. And then you still want everything selected. You're going to press group up here. And now you see I have a ring. Anything that you're going to make that's going to be a ring shaped, you're going to use these principles for. So it's a good skill to have, to just know how to put a hole in something, line it up, group it together so that it is hollow or open. This suddenly seems smaller than I want it to be. You can still play with the shape. I think I'm just not zoomed in enough. You can still play with the shape once you've grouped things together. You also do, because this is a shared account, make the file name up in the corner there your name. And that'll just make it a little easier. There are a lot of different ways to put holes in the hoop so that string can go through. You're going to use the hole again. This time you want to make it narrower. I think I'm going to make it about, here, I'm going to do this so that it's, I'm going to make this about 5 or 6. I'm going to make it 6 by 6. Oh, that's not the right one. And then just make it long. It doesn't matter if it's super long because it's not a solid shape. Then I'm going to put this at 90 degrees. I need to change my... So this, I think I need to be, it needs to be a little shorter. This, you can either manually drag the arrow to turn it, but since I know I want it at 90 degrees, it's easier to just set it at 90. And then make it longer. And you want it, there are ways to do it. You can make it really small and put it through the top there. But I'm doing it like a pole that goes through both sides. And this is going to have to be lined up too, rather than doing it manually. Because I just want it lined up like that. This one's tricky. This one's... I could make the pole narrower, and it wouldn't be coming through both sides. It would just be going through the layer there. But I'm not going to do that. That's too complicated for me personally. This is how I'm going to do it. And you'll see everything's lined up. Hold your shift key and click on both. Group them together. Now it's just a hoop with holes in it. How I'm going to do it is there's going to be knots that keep the yarn in place. And this way it'll always be a forward facing ornament, because I could just tie a string around the hoop itself, but then when I hang it on the tree, it's not going to be forward facing. I don't know if that makes sense. Let's do it this way, and then when you get your ornament on the tree, you'll see what I mean. Or not. I don't really care. Just do it this way. So there we go. That is the basic framework for the ornament. And now you can do whatever you want inside the ornament. I found a snowflake shape the other day in the shape library, which I think is fairly new. There we go. It was the first one. I remember that it was at the top here. So I have a snowflake. Nice non-denominational winter symbol. Make it as big or little as you like. I'm gonna make it equal. So it's gonna be 19 by 19. And then you're gonna put it within the hoop, but if it prints like in the center, they're not gonna be connected into one shape. So what you wanna do is have just a little corner of it, or two corners, touching the outside of the hoop. And you'll notice that it is not as tall as the hoop. I usually like to make my snowflakes at varying heights so that it gives a little dimension. If you want more than one snowflake, you can duplicate it. Best way to do that, Control D on your keyboard. See, now you have multiple snowflakes. You can make them multiple sizes. If I want this one to be a little smaller, it's doable. I can make it a little smaller. Still want it to a little flatter so that there's layers. Yeah, I could put it up here too. Unless you want the string to go just straight through instead of doing what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do one more snowflake. There we go. Everything's overlapping with the edges just a little bit. And then what I did before is I put some text in the middle to commemorate the wonderful year that we've just had. In my previous tutorial, I just did 2020. You could also, you go up here. I'm going to go text and numbers. There's two ways you can do it. You could do individual letters, which I like because you can arrange the letters however you want, or you can just type. And I'll show you how to type because that's the easier way. So text. I think you go here. And then, oh, I accidentally deleted it. So don't press delete. Here, I'm going to just say, put my name on it because it's my ornament. So what you notice when you just type without changing anything else, the letters aren't touching, so they're not going to print as one object. They're going to print separately, falling apart from one another. That's not what I want. Go back into the settings here under this arrow. I think segments is what you can press. No, that's not it. I think bevel will make them thicker. Will make them touch. But see, that's kind of diluting the font too. So this version where you just use the text box, do it if you are putting your text on top of a solid surface. Since that's not what I'm going to do, I'm going to use individual letters here so that I can overlap them, but they will still sort of hold their shape. You can line up the text just like you've lined up any other shape. I don't think that there's enough room to write my whole name, so I'm going to do what I did before. Oh man, always accidentally messing stuff up. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And I want this to be want this to be the same dimension. So if this one was 16 by 18, this is also, the 0 is also going to be 16 by 18 by 11. Okay, by 11. 20, 20. I'm duplicating the same way that I've been before. Oh man. Ah! I'm always accidentally grabbing those little squares. Because I am a disaster of a woman. Okay, let's see. You know what I could do? Is I can make this a couple millimeters shorter. So that the 2's shine through. I'm liking that. I'm liking this depth, which means I have to make this snowflake shorter. Oh no, what have I done? Okay, let's look at this. The snowflake is currently 9. Yes, this is going to be flat with that. I'm going to just make it 7. There we go. That looks nice to me. Maybe the 2 needs to be... I'm just going to play around with this a little bit. Just never grab the squares unless you really want to grab the squares. So now I'm going to do shift click on all 4 of these letters and on the hoop and just line them up. Just make sure they're nice and lined up. I don't know if the background snowflake is the best choice, so I'm going to just put it down here. This feels better. That feels better to me. So this is what I've got. Now I want to make it one solid shape, so I'm going to shift click everything on this plane. Just get it all grouped into one. Typically, when you group objects, they all become the same color. I think maybe there's just too much variety here, so it did not become all one color. But you'll notice that when I click it, it's just one movable object. And that's what's really important here, is that it's just one solid object all together. You can see all the parts touching each other so that you know how it's going to maintain its shape once I print it. And then what you can do if you're using our account is just direct message us, tell us that the file is here in TinkerCAD. You don't have to do anything, it's auto-saved, and we'll see it. We'll see it on our recent designs. But if you do create your own account, you're going to want to export it and send us the file attachment itself. Just make sure that it's in a .stl format, because that is the format that our 3D printers take. Alright, and so I'm going to upload this into our 3D printing software, and I will do a time lapse of the print. This is the final product. And once I paint it and add some yarn, it's gonna look something like this. And that is how you make a 3D printed ornament using TINKERCAD. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays.